Hey guys, Dom from Faith Family Homestead. I'm going out my back door. I've never came out my back door. But I burnt some pancakes this morning. I'm not the best pancake maker when it comes to making pancakes on the stove. Couldn't get the heat right. I usually make it on the griddle. But I came outside because I have some burnt pancakes in here and some eggshells and some eggs that my kids didn't eat, so I'm going to give it to the pigs. They were sleeping, they just woke up. They know I have food. Up. One pancake stuck in there. Here. Oops. It's in there. I can't get it out. Hold on. Okay, there it is. Oh, they're missing it. Oh, they found it. Oh, she ate it from him. So sad. Hey, Bucky. I don't have any more pancake. I don't have any more pancake. I already gave you one. It's very sunny out here, so I'm coming to open up the greenhouse where I have my seedlings in. This is how I burn plants because I forget that they are in here suffocating about many degrees hotter. Huh, well, they all look good still. So I am going to probably get some tomato seedlings out. So I have some tomatoes here. Those are hollyhocks. Zinnias are doing good. All of the marigolds that I replanted with Sow Right Seeds have come up right there. Some more tomatoes on this side. Tomatoes, chives. Oh, I'm going to probably put chives in the Greenstalk today. Yep. More tomatoes, nasturtiums back there. And then determinate tomatoes that I need to do something with. I still have these right here that I had planted 3 out early just to try and see. And they died. I'm going to replant these and with determinate tomatoes, so I'll probably do that today. Oh my goodness, that rose, the rose opened up. Last time I showed it, it was still kind of small. I cannot wait for this rose to just keep growing and looking lovely. Let me go in here. This peppermint that I put here was dying. It was like just this right here, and now it has refreshed and came to life. So I may take a piece because it spreads and put it in the Greenstalk. I have one going right there. Maybe I'll take these and see if I can uproot some roots with them and get them replanted in the Greenstalk. Oh, there's one here too coming out. So yeah, I'll probably do that and leave this one to take over at the bottom here. My kids the other day cleaned out the rabbit containers, so all of this is filled with rabbit poop, which is nice. I've been using my rabbit manure to feed my worm bins, and they are absolutely, like, the worms have multiplied in there, and it is awesome. The thing about this is usually when it gets this far, they say that the bulbs aren't going to get any bigger. But maybe I'll just leave it to let it open up and turn into a flower, since they don't have an onion bulb. But my onions over here, I think I saw some bulbing up. Yeah. Yep, that one's bulbing up. Every time I look at this, this is seriously amazing. I planted, this is summer savory. I planted it and it was this big last year. And then you can see it looked like it died, but it came back with vengeance. And I knew it would because this is considered ground cover and it smells way better than mint. I had it in my Greenstalk and I think it actually died and didn't come back. But right here you can see it literally has taken over this bed. This is the bed that I had all my spicy peppers in last year, and I thought I had seen some coming back to life, but then we had a frost and it killed them. So, and I had planned on keeping my spicy peppers planted in this bed, and I actually may still, because I don't have that many spicy peppers to plant out. But with the summer savory taking over this bed, I don't know, I might have to pull some out in order to plant some of the spicy peppers in that bed. It just looks amazing how green and lush it is. Anyway, let me go open the hoop house, which is what I came out for anyway. Oh yeah, and I have to show you guys the dwarf tomatoes, because in these forever garden beds that are along the fence, I told you I have some dwarf tomatoes in there that I want to plant along in these garden beds, because they're only supposed to get like 2 feet, 2.5 feet, 3 feet, which is not very big at all. Check my tomatoes in here. So I showed you guys that I did move my tomatoes. I ended up planting peppers in the in-betweens, and it's nice that I did fertilize them, and you can see the top growth on them. Is green, which is a good thing. And then all of the other tomatoes I planted out here. Started some more trays of peppers that you guys sent me, and ground cherries and peppers, and some basils in that one. And then this one's my summer squash and cucumbers. And my tomatoes, they're all doing good. My daughter planted this bed of tomatoes, but she didn't plant this one because it was supposed to go right there, and there's an ant pile. Whew, right there. Do you see them moving? And every day I've come in here and disturbed them, because that's basically how I deal with ant piles, is basically by disrupting them, and eventually they'll leave and go form an ant pile somewhere else. But I was thinking last night, so I haven't planted this one out. And then there's one here that my daughter broke off the top, but it's starting to grow new leaves, and it's a Paul Robeson. I think I have another Paul Robeson that I could put here, but I also thought about I have this big bag of diatomaceous earth right here, and actually it is open. I thought about sprinkling some on the ant pile back there, which I may do right now, because diatomaceous earth becomes ineffective once it gets wet. Hold on, let me sit you up. It becomes not effective once it gets wet. But my plan last night was that I could throw the DE on the ant pile, because it will kill them if it remains not wet. And I was like, if it could remain not wet by me not watering it, because it's covered in this hoop house. That's one of the things I struggled with last year, is that I have all of these products to help with Pest, but all of them, if it gets wet, like this, if it gets wet, it becomes ineffective. Sprays, if you spray it on for like fungal diseases, it's like if it becomes wet, you have to do it again. Same thing with like sluggo and all those types of things. And it's like living in the South, it's always so humid that this gets wet like that. So I'm gonna see if that works. So I sprinkled it on there. I can see that they have some on there. We're just gonna see what happens. I'm not gonna water it. I'll check back on this later today.
What's that?
I put diatomaceous earth to try and kill the ants.
Whatever you need, so I can get a bag of lollipops.
Oh my goodness, so you missed that first part. My daughter said she came out here to help me so she could bribe me to give her some lollipops, so that she could help me and I could pay her in lollipops. Because yesterday, it's a joke, yesterday, well, she's serious, it's not really a joke. Oh, so happy about my tomatoes I planted in there. Yesterday, my son, what did Aiden do for me? Oh, he took the metal roof off of the sheds that we knocked down. Our neighbor is supposed to be coming by with his tractor and lifting up all of the metal roofing. Let me show you. So we had these 3 sheds here when we first moved here, and my son knocked it down, and we haven't moved it because these are big pieces. But my neighbor who lives back there, he helped the guy, previous owner, build this, and we wanted to save the metal roofing to reuse it. And so he took it off, and I told him I would pay him. But yesterday I got in a bag of like it was like allergy friendly lollipops, and it had like 40 in the bag, and he was like, you could pay me in lollipops. And so now so yesterday my girls were jealous and was like, I want to do something so that I could get paid in a bag of lollipops. So I have to give them a job so that they could get paid in lollipops.
I want a job.
You want a job too?
Yes.
Okay. So let me show you the dwarf tomatoes. I separated all of the dwarf tomatoes, and that are going to be 2 to 3 feet, that I'm going to plant in the what do you call the garden beds, the forever garden beds. You can see how they're growing with like the thicker stems compared to like those right there, because they're going to be short and stubby. So all of these are the dwarf tomatoes, and then I have some right there, but those are going to go in the Greenstalk, and so I haven't planted those out yet. These are my determinate tomatoes, like I said, that desperately need some nutrients. As you can see, they're looking all sad. I'm not worried about them, because last year I had some tomatoes that looked way worse than those at the end of the season, and I literally didn't have any space for them. I just created a random space for them just because they looked like they were gonna die, and I'm like, well, you look like you're gonna die and look diseased and everything, I'll just plant you. And they actually ended up being my best and biggest tomato plants. So I'm definitely not worried about how those look. That's just because I haven't fertilized them, like I said. But so I'm trying to think about what I want to do. I looked at the weather for, let me sit underneath this gazebo. The sun is very hot. What was I thinking? I looked at the weather for the next 2 weeks, so all the way up to like March 5th, and there is no freeze. The coldest it gets is 45 degrees 2 days, which I think was like the 1st and 2nd, I want to believe, which is nowhere near freezing. That's 13 degrees, 45 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's above freezing temperatures. So I'm not worried about that. But one year, I think it was like 2 years ago, there was a late freeze like in the middle of May. And I don't mind planting out my greenhouse or my hoop house, because it stays warm in there even if it drops down to 32 degrees. And so I don't mind planting out the rest of my peppers inside of the hoop house. because it stays warmer in there and I can keep the door closed. But I am worried about planting things outside. I'm not worried about planting like my determinate tomatoes in these cages because like as you saw, I only have 3 more spots for determinate tomatoes, and I have probably maybe 8 more determinate tomatoes. And so even if I planted these out, like 3 more, and then they died again, I would still have another 3 to put it out again. Or I can try and cover them better. Last time when they froze, I just put a 5-gallon bucket over top of them, even though I had my frost fabric that I could have, but I didn't feel like I wasn't worried about it. I just wanted to do as little as possible. So I wanted to show you guys my worm bin. I think I showed it when I first set it up. I was thinking about harvesting compost from there, because I have a lot more rabbit manure that has fallen on the ground around their cages that I want to make a new, hold on. I want to make a new what's this called? Like, get all the castings out and then like make a new one, a fresh one. I checked in here, when was it? Yesterday. Let me get my shovel so I can show you how many worms I have in here. Like, it grew since. I need a shovel.
You have worms? Oh.
Yeah, they're in here. Woo! A bee.
I can't see them.
Well, have fun for here.
I do.
And upstairs.
I just look at them.
Oh yeah, I saw one right there. Yeah. There's one there, but oh, and there. Yeah, so I'm getting to them.
One is right there.
Yep.
Oh, it's hot.
Yeah, it is really hot in here. Oh yeah, so they're there.
We did it.
Yep, they're there.
Can we have a lollipop now? Because we did it.
Sure.
We can have a lollipop.
So yeah.
We can have a whole bag?
No, you can't have a whole bag.
Okay.
But you can have a lollipop.
Thank you.
So we just have like leaves and then the cardboard and then this lid. It's still super moist in there, and so I don't need to do anything to it until I harvest those the manure in there. Oh, it's so hot. It's so hot. I haven't put on my shade cloth over this hoop house because what's it called? Oh, I need clips to hold the shade cloth down, and I didn't know that when I got the shade cloth. And so now I'm waiting for the clips to come in the mail before I can put the shade cloth on, because it's getting super hot in here. I was looking at those peppers because I planted jalapeno, and I thought maybe I uppotted it with those peppers, but I didn't, because I just remembered it was a spicy pepper, which my spicy peppers are over here. So I'm thinking about planting it in the Greenstalk today if it's big enough. So it doesn't look like I have actually any jalapenos to put inside the Greenstalk, but I just found this orange hat, which is a dwarf tomato, and it has one growing up in the front, so I may try to separate that, but I'm gonna go put this in the Greenstalk, and I have the tag right there. The plants in here need to be watered, so after I get this into the Greenstalk, I am gonna water those plants. I planted it right here, and then I filled up the Greenstalk. I also have this chive, and I'm gonna put it here. This sure was a mint, and it's dead. This seems to... Is this mint? Well, whatever was originally planted here died. This is coming from traveling. Looks like it's traveling from... over on this side. So I just pulled this. Look at those roots. It was traveling from the original plant. I pulled it from, oh, that looks so pretty. I pulled it from the, what's it called? My daughter just planted the chives there. But I pulled this from, oh, the roses. So I'm probably going to plant this maybe right here. Hey, Anaya, can you come plant this here, please? We'll cut some of those roots off since it's too big and plant that there. I just gave the Greenstalk herbs a haircut to straighten this up, so that one is only in one container. I moved out all of the dead ones. My daughter just planted the chives there, the peppermint here, which I may water, because even though I put water in the top here, the soil's not super damp and the peppermint looks like it's dying here. That's the sage I said that my dog's always peeing on. And then I also trimmed these herbs over on this side.